It has become the biggest controversy in the Ford government's back-to-school plan, class sizes in the elementary grades. Premier Ford doubled down during his news conference today while facing a barrage of questions about why he is not following the advice in a SickKids report and reducing them.
We could play armchair quarterback all day long, everyone, but at the end of the day, I'm relying on SickKids, CHEO, Public Health, Health Table. That's who I'm relying on. The health and the science when it comes down to this.
Over and over, the Premier has repeatedly said he's relying on advice from health experts and the back-to-school recommendations in a report by the Hospital for Sick Children. But that report specifically says, quote, smaller class sizes should be a priority strategy as it will aid in physical distancing and reduce potential spread. High school students will be in cohorts capped at 15, but elementary classes won't have hard caps. Students in kindergarten, for example, could be in classes as high as 30.
The SickKids plan specifically does say that smaller classes should be a priority, and yet you keep saying you're relying on the expert advice from SickKids. So there's a disparity there. Like, are you passing the buck when not being accurate here?
If it was up to all of us, we'd have 5 kids in a classroom. But in saying that, we have the lowest amount of kids in JK in the country. We have 15 kids, equivalent to 15 kids for every teacher or ECE. So we're doing pretty good. Let's give this a shot, at least.
That's still 30 kids potentially in one class. So it's not the ratio of adults that is important. It's the number of kids that are in the class together.
So we're going to have 2 teachers. We're going to have cohorts of 15 within the classroom too. So it's really, they're going to keep the kids separate. But in saying that, we have $80 million for large urban areas. If they need to get more support, they're going to get more support.
Studies suggest the risk of younger children getting COVID is less than older students. Class sizes in the younger grades vary across the country. In New Brunswick, for example, they're aiming for 15 students per class. In Quebec, it's 6. In BC, elementary students will be divided into learning groups of 60 that they can interact with. The opposition is highly critical of Ontario's plan.
I'm shocked that the Premier isn't listening to what parents are clearly telling him. We're getting down to the wire, but the truth is the government has an option here. For the Premier to shrug his shoulders and say, you know, he's going to pray that everybody's okay, that just doesn't cut it for parents.
The Premier said again today, if parents don't feel it is safe for their children to go to school, they can learn online at home. Now, experts say the best way to protect students and teachers is a combination of factors. No crowding in hallways, for example, lots of hand washing, and that the best chance of it not spreading in schools is if it is not spreading in the community.